All right, let's talk Baltimore Ravens. Of course, the Ravens are preparing for a massive, absolutely massive, can't wait for this one, playoff matchup. But lost in the noise of preparing for this playoff game, the Raiders have made a really just smart, savvy, strategic move for the future, right? All eyes are, of course, focused on the here and now. But what the Ravens do with an eye towards the future and improving this team is unparalleled in the NFL. It's one of the many reasons why year in and year out, the Ravens are succeeding at the highest level. Let's pull up this report and then we'll talk about it more on the other side. This is courtesy of SI.com. Deontay Johnson has had quite the 2024 season. After being waived by the Houston Texans on Tuesday after two games, the Baltimore Ravens claimed the receiver once again off waivers on Wednesday. ESPN's Adam Schefter reported. Johnson won't be able to officially join the Ravens until after the Super Bowl at this point, though, so he may never actually play another game for them. So that's kind of interesting, right? They're bringing a guy off waivers, but he can't help him for the playoff push. Here's the thing. It seems like a strategic move for the Ravens more than anything because Johnson is poised to become an unrestricted free agent this offseason, meaning he can now be included in Baltimore's compensatory pick formula. This gives the team more opportunities to earn draft picks in 2026. For those of you who aren't familiar with the compensatory pick formula, basically what it means is if you're a team and more people leave through unrestricted free agency than you bring in, the NFL rewards you draft picks. So Deontay Johnson leaving as an unrestricted free agent counts as a tally in the extra draft pick column for the Baltimore Ravens. Sounds like a really great move here, basically potentially getting something for nothing. Love this from Baltimore. Miles, I know you've got a few thoughts on this, but first, Ravens fans in the comment section below. Obviously, it's been an exciting regular season. We're about to see how this postseason really finishes out here. Great game coming up this weekend. But give us your under the radar MVP for the the Ravens, excuse me, regular season with everything they've done. Obviously, Jackson, Hamilton, Van Noy, those guys are spectacular. Henry, but who's a guy who went under the radar that you think deserves a lot of credit? Put them in the comment section below. But Miles, what are your thoughts on this latest news out of Baltimore?
Yeah, Nick, I think that the Ravens, a lot of really great things are going on for this team. Big matchup against Buffalo, like you said. I think there's a lot of good stuff going on. But one move that kind of left a black eye on the organization this year was going after and getting Deontay Johnson. This is a guy, a lot of Ravens fans, former Steeler. That means something. You don't want to bring him into the franchise, especially after you see a guy like Patrick Queen leave to go to Pittsburgh and really just play his heart out against Baltimore. You bring in Deontay Johnson, you'd expect him to do the same. Let's get back at the Steelers. Let's be, a real go-getter. Doesn't happen that way. It's actually kind of an embarrassing move to bring in Deontay Johnson and him do absolutely nothing. One catch for the team on the record in all of the games he was with Baltimore at. Then he gets let go for conduct detrimental to the team, trying to move on from it, and you think that's all she wrote. That's, we're going to have to think about that. Leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. But then Baltimore, Eric DeCosta, Ozzie Smith, the brain trust in that front office, they have the opportunity. They have the ability to say, hey, look, he's sliding down through waivers. We're in the position. Let's pick him up. And they get him. And now they're going to get something for, like you said, nothing. Johnson thought, he could pitch the fit. He could be the guy do whatever he wanted. Obviously, that didn't really work out. It's bounced around from team to team. Nobody really has been able to do anything with him, but Baltimore finally got him in a position where they could capitalize on it. They pick him up on waivers. He's going to leave the team. If he signs up to any team after this, it is going to be, like you said, a mark in that compensatory pick algorithm. Great job by Eric DeCosta. Great job by Ozzie Smith by turning this at one point in time embarrassing moment for the Ravens for bringing a guy in who wasn't just bad. He just defied the team. He did not want to play. He didn't do anything for the team. Now they're turning it into a plus. Really smart move. Very rarely can this happen for teams, but Ravens, Eric DeCosta, they made it happen. I'm really excited about what they've done here in Baltimore.
Yeah, this reminds me of a story I read a while back about a Wall Street trader, like a stock or a bond trader in the 80s. I forget his name and I forget the exact situations. But this trader just he made a terrible trade. He lost a lot of money. He tried to trade something at whatever it was, $100 a share, and he bought it and it went down to 70. He thought it was a good trade. It just the forces were against him. It didn't work out. And so he unloaded it. And then he had an opportunity to buy it back. It completely cratered at like $4 a share. And then it bounced a little bit, and then he sold it at $10 a share a little bit later. And what he said is like, listen, I lost a lot on the initial, but I recognized there was something there of value, and I didn't let my pride and ego get in the way of the fact it was a loss to try and get something in return. This is what good traders do on Wall Street. This is what good businessmen do. Obviously, a lot of moves you make in business or life or whatever in general, they don't work out. But sometimes there's a way to salvage it to get something in return. And that's exactly what the Ravens do here. I have never heard of this before. This is unprecedented genius level kind of stuff, right? This is awesome. This may start a new trend, to be totally honest, because there is the way it works with the compensatory formula is you could have five superstar unrestricted free agents leave, and if you sign like five backups, the NFL says that's a wash, right? So this allows the Ravens to essentially get that extra tally in the leave column. This is one of the things that often happens that a team will lose, say, three or four really good players in unrestricted free agency, and then they're so scared to death to sign like backup and depth pieces, and they end up having to rely on rookies like fourth, fifth round picks to try and fill that for the upcoming season because they're scared of losing that compensatory pick, right? That's a free pick. That you don't have to trade anything for that. It's just given to you by the NFL. That puts teams that in a bad situation a lot of times how to handle that. The Ravens got ahead of it here. And this is why DeCosta is so good. It's little things like this. I feel like every other year or so, the Ravens do something really smart strategically in the front office that gives them an advantage. Look, we know the Chiefs, really smart organization. Rams, same thing. But the Ravens, once again, I feel like they've been this way ever since the mid 1990s with Ozzie Newsome, are proving themselves to be one of the smartest organizations in football.